One of my favorite runners of all time is Steve Prefontaine. And one of the famous things that he said, which I think is absolutely true, is that talent is a myth. And I also think that motivation is a myth. And so this is not another motivation video. I think that we just decide we're going to do something. And if you're that type of personality that decides they're going to do something and then puts in place all the actions and learns all the habits, creates all the habits in order to get there, what you're actually looking for is strong discipline and consistency in order to get you there. And that is why, for me, running is the perfect metaphor for life. And that's why it's the perfect teacher that gives you all the things that you need in your life to succeed, whether it's in business, whether it's learning a language, whether it's finances, whatever. It gives you all the teachings that you need in order to be successful in your life. Because if you can be good at distance running, if you can decide that you are going to start and you're going to run 5K or you're going to run a marathon, whatever it is that your goal is, if you can decide that and then put the habits, the actions, the daily actions in place in order to move closer to that goal, and sometimes you'll fail, you won't always succeed, so it's that kind of like understanding that it's delayed gratification, learning to fail, learning that consistency is your best friend. That is much more powerful than any motivational video, than any talk that you can go and see, than anything that you can kind of put into, anything you can read. It's more motivating than that because that is so much more powerful. It's the act of deciding you're going to do something and then making it happen. If I have a friend who manages the biggest gyms in Europe, and he gave me a fascinating statistic, and it's kind of not shocking, but gyms would not exist if it was not for the people who sign up in January and who don't cancel their membership. They wouldn't exist. And I'm talking about the big gyms, the big chains. People have got this new year, new me. We've all seen it. We've all been there in January and February where the gym is super busy, you can't get on machines, etc. Gyms would not exist if it wasn't for those people who join and then do not cancel their membership. Because if they cancel their membership, they've officially given up. They've given up on their fitness journey. What they dreamt of, what they wanted to be, what they decided, they've not come good on, and therefore officially they would cancel it and therefore given up, and therefore they've officially given up. And because they're not willing to do that, because they're not willing to cancel their membership, that is why gyms survive. And so if you put that into practice in your own kind of, I'm not feeling really motivated at the moment, I'm not so enthusiastic. I get a notification on my phone every day that says you've got to spend 10 minutes doing Duolingo, which is learning Spanish for me and learning Russian. And the reason for me it's so powerful is because there's many factors that make Duolingo really strong, but I don't want to lose my streak, which is at the moment 345 or 346 days. I don't want to lose that streak. And I'll also gain points, and there's also divisions, and so I don't want to drop down a league or drop down a division. I want to go up, and therefore it's so strong. Then it will add to that. It's basically gamification, but in a language. But the fundamental or the underlying motivation that I have is I lived in Spain for 10 years every summer, and so for the first 2-3 years, I just thought I don't really need to learn Spanish. I can get by without, and all my friends were English speaking, and then they'd kind of speak English for me, and I wasn't fully integrating into like my life in Granada. And then after a while, then I joined an intensive course, and then I would go and see a teacher one-to-one. And so for me, Duolingo, and the reason I'm so kind of dedicated or so consistent with it is because of that gamification, but also that kind of ties back. If I just do a little bit every day, then I'll keep it in so that if I get back to Spain, when I get back to Spain, then it's going to be there. I'm not going to have lost anything. It's not going to be like starting again, and it never will be like starting again. It's almost like muscle memory, but it's also teaching me new tricks. So I'll often find it that I've been saying the wrong word for years, and people have kind of, okay, he means this, or I've said something in the wrong way. So it's keeping my eye in like that. But it's that daily consistency And that discipline of me kind of getting a notification, okay, great, I've got to do this before midnight, otherwise I'm going to lose my streak. And if I lose my streak, then I think you have 2 streaks, maybe you can pay for, or you know, you use gems in the app in order to not lose your streak, but I don't want to lose that, and so I don't do it. And so I've got to do my 10 minutes every day. It's really important for me to do that. And it's exactly the same with running. If you know yourself that you've been on a running journey and you've tried to get fit, and then maybe you've had a few days off because work gets in the way, or your partner wants your attention or whatever, and then all of a sudden it's been a couple of weeks, and then that first run, you're rusty and you don't really, you should be fresh because you've not run for a few days or a couple of weeks, but you're rusty because you're not used to it. You don't want to break the chain. And if you look at it like you don't want to break the chain, and therefore it's happening, you're consistent, this all starts the night before, and you decide the night before, what is the run that I'm doing tomorrow? Right, it's a recovery run, or it's an easy run. I need to lay my kit out the night before. And so the first thing in the morning, that happens because you identify as a runner. It's as simple as that. It comes back to your identity. My identity is that I'm a human being. I'm a runner. And that's as solid, me being a runner is as solid as me being a human being. I'm a fitness person. I'm really addicted to running and to keeping myself in shape, to getting out on the bike as well whenever I can, but it's mainly the running. And it's the running because I'm a professional runner, but I will run forever. And so once it ties back to your identity, it's very difficult to break the chain because you want to keep it going. If tomorrow is an interval session, I'm excited about that. So now I'm checking, okay, how's my body feeling? Am I ready to run fast tomorrow? Am I ready to control an interval session? Or am I not yet recovered from Sunday's long run? It's as simple as that. So I think about it like that. And that's where the simplicity of my training program comes in. So Wednesday's interval session, learn how to go fast, speed endurance, lactate threshold sessions. Sunday, long run, keep that endurance ticking away. Keep my body's ability to go far so that I'm ready and fit at any time to race, or to put myself in a position that within 6 weeks, I can be ready to race. It's that simple. And so it happens. I've decided, you've decided, and therefore it's going to happen. Tomorrow it's going to happen. And if you do that first thing in the morning, you don't leave it until after work, when anything can get in the way. Somebody can bring you into a meeting. Somebody can say, oh, can you just finish writing this presentation, or whatever it might be. There's so many things that can get in the way that can be legitimate excuses for you at the end of the day. Don't let that happen. And so if you do it first thing in the morning, there's some of you who get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning in order to get your runs in order to make it happen. That is discipline. That is consistency. And if you're made of that, that feeds into all aspects of your life. It's so powerful, it's unbelievable. So it's not motivation that you're looking for. Initially, it's the decision. It's like, I want to be a runner. Okay, I'm going to decide to be a runner. And therefore, I'm going to research what strategies, plans to put in place in order to become a runner. And therefore, what do I need to put in the diary? Maybe a 5K run in 3 months to keep myself accountable, if that's what you need, because for me, it really works. If I've got a race, I don't want to show up on the day and be embarrassed. I don't want to show up on the day and underperform, because that will disappoint me more than anything. So it happens. It's not motivation that you need. It's discipline and consistency. And although that might not sound as sexy as a show reel on YouTube of Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods and Ronnie O'Sullivan and all these great players, it's the discipline and consistency that made them who they are. So good luck. If you got anything from this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That would really help me out. Thank you.